Looch on ice, we break it down each week. Puck drops hard, hear the fans all scream. From the highlight reels, we catch every peak. In the fast lane, we live the hockey dream. Stick handling magic, every move's a skill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the loop. Join the ride, feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. Goals and assists, the numbers never lie. From golden gloves to the rivalries that fly. On ice battles, real grit and we pride. With Looch on the mic, we rise to the sky. Every play's electric, they give us a thrill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the loop. On the ride, feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. The numbers never lie. From golden gloves to the rivalries that fly. On ice battles, real grit and we pride. With Looch on the mic, we rise to the sky. Every play's electric, they give us a thrill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the loop. Join the ride, feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. So lace up tight, let's roll with the fight. Looch on ice, hockey vibes feeling right.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't see. Oh, there you are. What's
There
up, Looch?
we are. What's going on?
Looch. What's up, my good friend?
Hey, what's
I said,
happening, Jeff?
since it's Hanukkah, use some Yiddish. What's up, Bubala?
Oh, is that how you say it?
Bubala, yeah, it's a Yiddish word for, you know what? I don't even know. But it's a good thing. Son, brother, friend.
All right. Learn
Anyway.
something new every day.
Yeah, you learn a lot with me. None of it will
Yeah.
be useful, but, you'll learn a lot with me.
Yeah, we're a little bit late tonight. We're sorry, everybody, but we'll have to fit a lot of stuff into a short time here.
By the way, it means sweetheart, darling, or little one.
All right.
I never knew. So,
Nice.
whatever one fits you, Looch. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's hit that. A lot to talk about this week. A lot to talk.
That's for sure. Trades we got going on that happened. I think it was last week. Though they were, we're at Monday, so I'm used to doing Wednesdays. But we had some trades. We had a coach firing or a GM firing. I'm sorry, and we got some Rangers stuff that we'll talk about, and even some high school stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, baby.
I went to a few games, and we were going to talk about. I think, what was it? Last Monday, I went to a game, and then I went to two other games. I went to a CBA game and another brick game. But we'll get to those in a little bit. Let's get into some NHL action with some trades that happened. I guess we could start off with the first one that happened was the Tristan Jarry, Stuart Skinner one. That was Edmonton and Pittsburgh. Basically swapping goalies. I'm thinking they just, I don't know, maybe they needed a, change of scenery or something. And, Edmonton with Stuart Skinner just has to.
Maybe Bauman knows something we don't.
Yeah.
I know Pittsburgh was high on Jarry, but the performance never matched the hype. Right. To me, look, Skinner wasn't the answer. So maybe Jarry is. Maybe they could unlock him. I don't know. But to me, it's kind of like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, right? Like,
yeah.
You're that excited about Jarry if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan?
Yeah, right. Little changes. Sometimes the guys need a change of scenery, and you never know, man. They get sparked. He's sitting next to Connor McDavid, on the bench or in the locker room, and I don't know. Who knows?
Well,
we'll see.
If they don't improve that defense and the defensive play, right? It doesn't. You could put Shishirkin in there, and it's not going to matter, right? I'm going to try not to say so much this week. Bowman comes from the Blackhawks, where they won 3 cups while he was there. They had Hobby Bullen for one of them, great goaltender, and then for the other 2, they had Corey Crawford, a really underrated goaltender. I forget which final it was. It might have been, I don't know if it was the Tampa final or more likely the Boston one. They don't win it without him standing on his head. I think Bowman comes from that school of, you don't need a great goaltender, right? We'll spend our money elsewhere. Right. And we'll have more depth and maybe not such a great goalie. I don't know. I'm guessing there weren't a lot of options out there.
No, I'm sure there isn't. Yeah.
You know what I would do seriously if I was Edmonton, and this is not a joke. Right? I would call up Benoit Allaire, who was the Rangers goaltender coach for a long time, and offer that guy any amount of money he wants to come out of retirement and work with their goalies.
Right.
The track record of taking Cam Talbot, made him into a good NHL goalie.
Right.
Ranta. Who am I forgetting? There's a couple more Rangers that
Gorgiev, but he wasn't, he didn't turn into a great goalie, but Gorgiev.
Who'd you say?
Gorgiev. Alexander
Gorgiev, yeah. When he was at the Rangers, he did.
Yeah, he was playing good.
So I would, that's what I would do if I'm them. Worth a shot,
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see if Jarry's the answer. I'm not sold. But again, how many goaltenders are out there? The teams that have a goaltender are not trading him, and there's a lot of teams that still need a goaltender. Toronto needs a goalie, right?
Right, yeah.
I don't know how good the guy in Detroit is.
Wall's coming back with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I don't know what's up with Anthony Stolarz because he's still on IR.
He's got an injury, but he struggled when he was healthy.
Yeah.
Wall had been playing well, and then he got hurt. We'll see how that turns out.
Right.
Toronto's got bigger problems.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They miss Marner, which is an interesting, let's talk about Marner for a minute if we can, because we didn't have this podcast back in the spring when I wrote a piece about Toronto and their poor fans and how they completely screwed the Mitch Marner situation. First of all, so the Shanahan plan, as they called it, Brennan Shanahan's plan to have the big 3 that they drafted, Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, right? And then they went out and signed Tavares. Well, it's clear that plan didn't work, right? We see that over the results over the 6 years they had Tavares. Tavares played well, performed well, but he's not a guy that I don't know. I think he was a little more hyped. Islander fans will love to tell you that. But,
yeah.
So the Shannon plan didn't work. And the mistake they made is a mistake that a lot of organizations all across sports and GMs make, and that is not being decisive. Okay. So they got caught in between with Marner. They held on to him, held on to the big 3. Forget Tavares. I don't think he was tradable. The young guys, Marner, Nylander, and Matthews. If you're going to ride with those 3, which I think Shanahan said he was going to, and obviously did, then that's fine. Then sign the guy.
Right.
If you're not, they should have traded him until it got to the point now he walked away for nothing. And look, it's hard to defend the guy because he came up short in the playoffs over and over again. But as a Ranger, a couple of my friends who are Ranger fans have said about Ranger fans who criticize Panarin and his playoff performance. Yeah, that's great, but you still got to get there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Marner was a big part of why they were so good, and just let him walk for nothing.
Right.
That's malpractice as far as I'm concerned. They should have either signed him or traded him, but not let him walk like that.
Yeah.
And by the time he got to free agents, it was over. Right. There was so much bad blood with the fans, coming to his house, and he's a local kid, the criticism, the whatever, and they let him walk for nothing. And now they're not as good. Obviously, even if they traded him for, and I know they made a trade so he could get the extra year, but they really didn't get anything. You can't, if you're going to go that route like they did, then go that route. No half measures, right? To quote the line in Breaking Bad, no half measures. You either trade him, or if you're going to keep him, you sign him. You don't let him walk for nothing. And there was nobody to replace him with because there's no top free agents out there. So
yeah,
and I don't think they were in on him. Now we can segue to this on Hughes because they don't have the assets.
right.
In Marner, but Marner had a no move clause, so
Yeah.
You went to Toronto, Vancouver's a rebuilding situation.
Yeah, you bring up the Quinn Hughes. That was the big trade this past week. Got Quinn Hughes going to Minnesota. What do you think about that trade? I think that's a good one. Obviously it's good for Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with Kirill Kaprizov. What has he got? 2 years left in his contract, so he'll stay there for a while and see if they give him an extension, and then who knows? Maybe he'll go to Jersey. But that was the talks. The talks were he's going to go to New Jersey. He's going to play with his brothers. And
that was my first thought.
Yeah,
when I saw it.
Right.
Was that wow? I thought he was going to the Devils. I thought he was ticketed there, but apparently the Devils couldn't offer as much as Minnesota did. Now, look, it's a great trade for Minnesota. Whenever you get a player the caliber of Quinn Hughes, you're going to win the trade no matter what, even if it's break even, whatever. Even if what you gave up is good, goes down out to be really good. It's a great trade for them, right? It gives them now him and Brock Faber are two. They call them minute eaters, play a lot. He's one of the most dynamic offensive defensemen, probably second best next to McCarr, and not far behind.
Right.
It's a great trade for Minnesota, right? But Vancouver, they had to trade him. They got a haul, right? A haul. They got Rossi, 60-point scorer who might improve a little more. They got Zev Boyan, who's played for the national development team, who people are very high on. I really like Boyan. Boyan is not, this might be, blasphemous to say. He won't probably be good as Quinn Hughes, but he could be close to that.
Right.
And he's not going to be making a lot of money, right? He's a younger guy, whatever. They're going to rebuild. The winger, I don't know enough about to tell you that, other than he was a high prospect for Minnesota. I forgot his name. If you have his name. What is it?
Liam Ogren.
Yeah, Liam Ogren. I can't say, but he was highly valued. Good second, third line player, maybe a little more. And a first round pick.
Yeah, next year, first round pick. Yeah.
That's a haul.
I agree. That is.
And good for them. Minnesota, Bill Guerin doesn't lack for confidence, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
Right.
And they've been saying that they're going to go, they're going to build a cup winner. We'll see. They're much closer today than they were. It's a trade you have to make if you're them. Right? I think it was a no-brainer for them. They were looking to trade Rossi anyway, right? Or during the offseason. They really don't want to pay him. First round pick is that because both be end of the first round. You don't mind giving that up. Boyan that's a top prospect. You don't want to give up, but you're getting Quinn Hughes back. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who's already established. Look, Zev Boyan is not. I think he's going to be a terrific all-star, long-time high-scoring defenseman. And the scouts who are high on him, right? They'll tell you that as high as they on him, they don't think his ceiling is where Quinn Hughes' ceiling is. So it's a great trade for Minnesota all around. They can be considered one of the favorites in the West without question. They have everything now. Let's see what happens. And this year, they're just coming out from under those the Suter and the Zach Parise buyouts. I don't know if you remember that when they bought him out like 4 or 5 years ago, and they each had like 4 years left. And they had a lot of money and dead money on the cap for two guys, kind of hamstrung them for a while. But with the cap going up and that money coming off, they might not be done yet. But they got Boldy, Hughes,
Kirill Kaprizov. Kirill Kaprizov.
Yeah, Kaprizov. Boy, a couple of Rangers.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and by the way, I heard I was wrong about that. I thought when he didn't sign that he was looking to get out of there, but I was wrong. The Rangers apparently made an offer to Minnesota. I don't know what they offered with, to Vancouver. I don't,
Right.
I don't listen. He's such a great player. Like I said, you can't turn the opportunity to not get him. But I don't know, like, why. How do I say this? As great as he is, where's he going to fit with if the Rangers did get him?
Right.
Right? I
Right.
mean, you got Gavriloff, who's playing great, by the way. We'll get to the Rangers in a
Yeah.
little bit. You got Fox, right? So, we, you don't have enough scoring up front. You're gonna get it from the back end. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe they made an offer. They weren't serious about it. Whatever. I heard the Devils. I was surprised at this. The Devils. Well, this is an interesting point, right? So let me see if I can remember exactly what I read the other day. I'll look it up the other day. So the Devils drafted, I think it was Holt over Quinn Hughes in that draft, right? And they drafted Siliev, right, in this and ahead of Boyum, right?
Oh yeah.
So if they had taken, no, it wasn't Quinn Hughes. I'm sorry, take that back. Let me go back. You know what? I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But basically,
Right. Right.
Boyum and it was either Rossi, maybe it was Rossi. They took Holt over Rossi. They would have had two of the pieces to get him from Vancouver.
Oh wow.
That
Yeah.
ended up
Yeah.
going over. But I don't think I thought the Devils' prospect pool was valued higher than it is apparently. But I guess Vasiliev is struggling. I think he was like
Uh-huh.
what, the fourth or fifth overall pick, sixth. And I don't. I thought they had the assets to get him, but apparently, Minnesota had more. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely, like you said, they're gonna be right there for playoffs and the Stanley Cup run. I mean, you got some good teams over there. They're gonna have to compete with Dallas and Colorado though too. So
yep,
yeah.
yep. Not
So
to
that's
mention Edmonton.
yeah. Well, right. That's a
But you know
given,
what?
right?
That's the thing about when you have a team, you want a team that could say they can compete for Stanley Cup. Once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen, right? Like
Exactly. Right.
it's just whatever. Um,
But
they'll be in the hunt. I don't think I wouldn't make them the favorite over Edmonton,
no.
Colorado, or Dallas, just from a talent standpoint,
Right.
but also from an experience standpoint. Dallas has knocked on the door twice the last 2 years, and
Yeah.
they added the great playoff playoff Rantanen. We know Edmonton's
Right.
been to two finals, and Colorado's won a cup, and they got Makar and McKinnon. As good as Krizoff and Quinn Hughes are, I take the other two.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
It's gonna be interesting. That's for sure. The second half of the season, or when it's after the new year, start seeing these teams figuring out where they're at, and these new
Yep.
players coming in. They're going to start gelling with the team. Yeah, we also had today the GM from the Buffalo Sabres got fired today.
When you texted me about that
Kevin
today,
Adams.
you didn't know that I have I got a special affinity for that guy. Not
Uh-huh.
affinity, no, affinity's a positive. He's a special kind of stupid, is what I would say.
Right.
A master class on how to build a team. I had written a long piece for my forum and blog last spring. I couldn't find it. Must have mistakenly deleted it. Basically, this is a guy, right, who went out and so he had to trade. Who was it he traded to Colorado a couple of years ago? He had to trade him. Casey Middlestat wanted to be traded. So he traded him for a defenseman, right? A very good one in what's his name? Let me pull up their roster.
Colorado's.
What's that?
Gosh, Colorado's roster.
No, the Sabres. He was on the cup
Oh.
winning team. They got for the Casey Middlestat deal. I think it was a Casey Middlestat deal. Hold on, give me a second. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's what a B. Dude, I'm getting old. I should know these things off the top of my head.
Byram, Bowen
Yes.
Byram.
Who's struggling this year, but they traded him for Byram, right? Who then was a free agent, right? So, but wait, let me go back. So they trade for Byram when they already used first overall picks on Rasmus Dahlin and Owen Proctor, right? They had signed Samuelson to a long-term contract. They had drafted like 6 other defensemen in 3 years, and they go out and they get Byram. Okay, how many defensemen are you going to pay 7, 8, 10 million a year, right? And Byram's a good player, but you talk about cap, not managing your cap well. First of all, when you have a Rasmus Dahlin, an Owen Proctor, right? Those guys, you want them on the ice. Having a third high-paid defenseman, no matter how good he is superfluous because you don't have minutes for all of them. What's the point, right? And this jackass, if that's not enough, besides the high draft choices in the second and third round, this idiot, what does he do in the spring this year? He drafts another defenseman in the first round in the top 10, which was a reach, by the way, right? So now you got that. Okay, all that's bad enough. Peterka, JJ Peterka, I think I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
Demanded a trade. He was a restricted free agent. Said he wouldn't sign, so they had to trade him. So they traded him, right? For another defenseman.
Oh God!
Right? Like another defenseman. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He should have been fired before that. He screwed up the Eichel trade. He screwed up the Reinhart trade. He hasn't been able to. He's done a terrible job drafting with all those top 10 picks. But I mean, come on, listen, come on. How many defensemen? It's that obvious. It was just so stupid. So he deserved to get fired, and it was long overdue.
Yeah, and I guess they got Jarmo Kekalainen is his name. I'm not too familiar with him, but the name sounds familiar.
Who?
Jarmo Kekalainen.
Who they drafted last year?
No, the new GM.
Oh, the guy from Columbus. Yeah.
Jarmo Kekalainen.
Yeah. He was good GM with Columbus. He did a good job. He just, came into some unfortunate stuff, the Gaudreau tragedy.
Right.
Losing out, on some free agents who left when, the owner wouldn't let him trade him because they wanted to make the playoffs. So now he's a good GM. They're gonna be in a good spot with him. He'll figure it out. He'll be better than this guy.
Yeah. I mean, they got a decent team. I mean, I like a lot of the Buffalo Sabres players. You said Rasmus Dahlin, he's one of my favorite defensemen, and I like Tage Thompson. He's a big forward. And,
Long Island boy, by the way.
Good. Oh yeah, good player, but he just doesn't. I don't know. He's not that. He is a good player. I can't take that away from him, but he's like up and down too much sometimes.
Well, he had some. He's had some good years, but but you know what? I'll cut him some slack because he doesn't get a lot of help. Right?
Exactly.
I also like Alex Took.
Yep.
Who's good with Nevada, with Las Vegas. He was in the part of the Eichel trade. I'm a fan of his.
Right.
I like Peterka, who the Rangers were interested in last year, but they had to trade him because he didn't want it. He wanted out of there. We'll see if Tage Thompson or Took's contract's coming up soon. We'll see if if he wants to re-sign. They have too many. Too many good, okay forwards, not enough high caliber, right? Tage Thompson can be seen at high caliber. Took has had some years like that, but hasn't necessarily. You can't necessarily say that about him. Yeah, he had 36 goals one year. Tage Thompson is 16 this year, but Thompson is how old now?
I'm not sure. To be honest with you,
I'm looking at his.
He's young. He's got to be young. He's got to be less than 30 years old. I mean,
he is 28, so he's still young.
All right. Yeah.
He had a year where he scored 47. He scored 44 last year without much help, and he's got 16 so far this year. He's not I shouldn't say he's a Long Island born, meaning that he was born a Long Island boy, because he wasn't born out there. He was born in Phoenix. He spent his early part of his youth hockey and his youth in Phoenix. I believe his dad is a coach who got hired to maybe be a coach in Long Island, one of the junior teams or whatever. And he moved out to Long Island, played for, I believe, the Royals or the Gulls out in Long Island for a couple of years. So he played in Long Island, so we'll call him a Long Island boy.
Gotcha.
Good player, though. Some of the Rangers.
That would be nice to have Tage Thompson's player.
But apparently their owner will not trade anybody to the Rangers.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm sure.
Because they're too close, in-state.
Right. Another New York ish team.
And with their penchant for making one bad trade after another, bad trade after another, I wouldn't if I was him either. Yeah, so he played for the PAL Islanders when he was younger, Tage Thompson, and he played for Mid-Fairfield. He did play for the Royals 1 year, too. He was also on the national development team. Then he went to University of Connecticut, and, here we are. He's having a good NHL career. So, that pretty much sums him up. Anyway,
all right, let's move on to the Rangers. We got to keep things rolling here because we want to get to some high school hockey in a little bit. Rangers playing a little bit better, not too bad.
Great night Saturday night, huh? 5.
Yeah.
They had a month's worth of goals.
Yeah.
Right? They had 5 goals. It came back from a 3-0 deficit.
Yeah, that was the Montreal game. 5-4 Rangers in OT.
Down 3-0. Scored, came back to tie it, fell behind, tied it, and then they won it in overtime after getting a goal disallowed in overtime, right? Or was that during regulation when they said Carrick kicked it in?
I think that was regulation, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was regular.
While we're on that subject, I've always been a believer you should be allowed to kick the puck in. Why not?
Yeah.
You can kick it anywhere else on the ice, right? You can kick it to yourself in the middle of the ice, along the boards. Why not? And it would take away any dispute about a goal. What's the difference?
Yeah. You could deflect off your foot, or you just can't make a distinctive kicking motion.
Yeah, which is just do yourself a favor. Allow them to kick it in, but NHL never does anything that makes sense.
Yeah.
Same thing with the high stick rule. As long as it's not above your shoulder, like it was always supposed to be, then they made it the crossbar. Do you know in women's hockey, women's college hockey, they were experimenting with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to, as long as it wasn't over your head or something. I don't know, but
they let that Michigan shot go in. I mean, you don't bring it up past your shoulders, but still. That Michigan shot is the cross shot that some of the players take. Zegras was one of them, and a few other guys in the NHL try that shot out where they wrap it around the net and it's on their blade of their stick up in the air.
Yeah, John Tortorella's favorite play.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, the Michigan move is becoming more and more common.
Yeah, I know. I see it a lot.
Listen, anything it takes to score, I mean,
right.
If they did that with the kicking motion or the high stick, and it would take away the video reviews, right? They wouldn't have to have video reviews, right? Because you kicked it in, no problem.
Yeah, makes the game a little more interesting.
Yep. So the Rangers seem to be weathering the Adam Fox injury, missing him for the past. How many games? I don't know how many games he's been out lately. 6. Last 6 games.
Got to be at least 6. Yeah.
I don't know when he's due back, but. They've done well in his absence, as well as could be. How about JT Miller? We talked about him on this podcast having to pick it up.
Yeah.
He certainly did that the other night with 2 goals, right?
Yeah, he's finding the back of the net. Thank God. I hope he keeps it up. I don't know what's going on. I just looked up at the Rangers score tonight. The Rangers are playing Anaheim Ducks.
Your team, Anaheim. It's 1-1.
With the return of Chris Kreider to the Garden.
Oh, that's right.
MSG, and then you got.
I'm sure they did a video tribute for him, right?
They did. They did a good little.
Matthew Robertson got the goal.
Okay. Oh, nice.
He had 2 assists the other night, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
And might be his first career NHL goal, right?
What, tonight?
I'm looking it up. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. No, I think he scored one.
Yeah, I
He
think you're
scored one
right.
already. Yeah, I
So
think he
he's
already
got the
scored a goal.
goal. Laffy with an assist. Thank God. He's doing something. And
Who-
Robertson's look, they're not looking for Robertson to score. That's not his game. But he had 2 assists the other night. He had a goal tonight.
And
As long as he's, playing well defensively and using that big body and moving the puck well, any points are gravy,
right. And I was going to say, you got Kreider coming back to the Garden. He would probably be the one to score for Anaheim. And I was gonna check that one myself to see if he scored. But it was Jackson Lacombe, the
Tell you right
defenseman.
now.
Jackson Lacombe, the defenseman, got it.
Yeah, on an assist from Jacob Trouba.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so good for good to have Kreider back. We all loved him. Nobody
Yeah,
wanted to see him go. Though as I said before, I understand that I think it was time. He's the only tradable asset they had, and that could free up some cap room and bring something back.
yeah,
He'll be missed.
yeah, that's for sure. And isn't it ironic that tonight Zibanejad is not playing because he got scratched from tonight's game because he didn't show up at a team meeting.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yes. I guess Sullivan is bringing the hammer down for so
For real?
Zibanejad. So Zibanejad's not in the lineup tonight. It was kind of strange when I saw it this afternoon. I said, out of all players, not to show up and not be on
way to win,
tonight.
people's admiration.
Right.
People are already pissed off that you're owed 5 years on that contract. You're untradeable. you can't buy him out. You're not worth that kind of money now. Though he's having a decent year.
Yeah.
That kind of money. So let me not show up for a team meeting because I'm only a 12-year veteran, supposed to be one of the leaders on the team. Is he wearing A?
I think he does. Yeah.
Great, terrific. Just doesn't show up for a team meeting. Come on, seriously.
Yeah. We got Rempe back, which is it's okay. That's a he came back from his
from his injury.
He's in the lineup tonight. Yep.
He have a fight yet?
I did see him. No. Let's keep it. Let's keep him out of the penalty box with that stuff. Just keep him in the lineup, but don't
Yeah, I'm a little.
I'd rather him not get into any scuffles unless he has to.
As I've mentioned before, I'm a little worried about him and all the fights that he's been in because it's just not good. And, unlike 20, 25 years ago, these guys are all there's not an ounce of fat on these guys. They're 220 pounds of muscle. They hit for real, man. When you get hit, it's for real. Not that it wasn't back then, but I'm saying, guys, you see guys getting knocked out more than ever or getting knocked down like you didn't see. Guys getting hurt. So Rempe's got 5 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time so far tonight's game.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, he's what are they in the second period, I think.
And they put Vaskinen is in the lineup over Morrow tonight.
All right. Yeah, Vakanainen, I think it is.
And by the way, what a signing Gavrilov was. He is just. Oh, so when it was 3-0 the other night, it looked like Montreal was going to have a breakaway, and Gavrilov somehow got back, used his stick to break it up, or it could have been 4-0. And then, they might not have had the win. He's been phenomenal.
I agree.
He's just been great. Can't say enough about him. For once, the Rangers signed a veteran defenseman, and it worked out. It sounded great when they signed him because he was one of the best defensive defensemen last year. But as I said on my forum, what are the odds the Rangers actually being successful? How many guys over the years have they signed that didn't work out, right? Yeah. Going back to Sylvain Lefebvre, Stefan Quintal.
Right.
They traded for Yandel. That didn't work out.
Yeah. Keith Yandel.
Dan Boyle. You go on and on,
Right. Yeah.
So, good to see he's working out.
That's definitely an upgrade from Andrea Miller, I would say. I mean, even though Miller's playing all right over there in Carolina, He's not doing too bad.
Well, that's Condre Miller, right? Playing all
Right,
right.
right. Exactly.
So the kind
Yeah,
of money that he was commanding, you need better than that. And I don't,
exactly.
he's not. Rangers got Gavriloff, who's 10 times better than him for less money.
Yep.
And Condre Miller just did not have a high hockey IQ.
Yeah.
That was my issue with him. And I remember when the Rangers drafted him, he'd only been playing hockey full time for like 2 years. He'd been a football player. I'm like, oh, wonderful. So we need a wide receiver. We're covered there. But
Yeah.
he had all the skills. He was big. He was fast. Good hands, tough.
Right.
Could be physical at times, but he just never could make that leap. And I think it was his hockey IQ that
Yeah.
held him back. Which is it's not always you can't define it unless you see it, whether a guy has it or not by watching him play. But it is as important as anything in health. Just as important as skating and stick handling and your shot. Quite frankly, if I don't care how talented you are, if you don't have a hockey IQ, you're lost.
Right. Yeah. And did you see the Connor Bedard? Connor Bedard gets hurt. Chicago is in trouble with Connor Bedard getting hurt the other night, Friday night.
How bad's the injury?
They're saying a shoulder. I'm not sure how long. They put him on IR today, so that's going to be a little while before they get him back. Probably, I think it was January. He'll be back, next month, which is not too far off anyway. But and they're saying he should be available for the Olympics. So. It doesn't seem like a long time.
Take him. I don't know if they were going to take him or not.
Right. So
because he's young,
he gets hurt in the third period of the game with 1 second left in the third period.
You're kidding.
On a face-off, on the face-off with Braden Shen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he goes off. He's holding his shoulder. And I was going to get the video pulled, but we didn't have a lot of time tonight with Luker. Stuff going on. So,
Gotcha.
So Chicago is in trouble with the Connor Bedard injury. Frank and Nazar, we got Tyler Bertuzzi up there. They're going to have to step up and take over for Connor Bedard, but nobody's going to take over for Bedard.
No, they don't have that kind of depth.
No, that's going to hurt them definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The next few weeks.
And those guys aren't, those young guys aren't ready to step up. I mean, look, it's Bedard's third year. He's finally breaking out. 19 goals, 25 assists.
Yeah, he's having a good year.
As great as he is, it took him till his third year to really break out.
Yeah.
So, they're going to struggle without him. Of course, he was there for the Ranger game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of course. Would have been nice if he got hurt before that. I'm kidding. But
yeah. So I don't know. You want to jump into? I guess we could jump into some high school then, if you.
Sure.
Think
what are we going to? We have an hour and a half tonight, or just an hour?
Just an hour. Yeah. So we're.
All right. So we got 15 minutes, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So where do we start? I know where we start. We're just, there's so much to talk about without enough, we can't get everything in.
No.
So I would say right now, there was a mild surprise the other night where Red Bank Catholic, RBC, upset Mid-North 6-4 behind their freshman goalie, Drew Schaefer, who's going to be playing for me in a tournament at the end of the month. Longtime Titan. I heard he was phenomenal. North, here's what I'll say about that. As I've said over and over again, North has the talent to win on the preview show, but it's losses like this, right? And right away, the same thing it always is. It's the refs. They blame the refs. My friend Chris Hopwood, I told him, you're like a dog who sees a cat. Like, that's you with the refs. Like, you just automatically hate them no matter what they do.
Yeah.
And look, one of the first things I taught my son when he was younger is you never make excuses after you lose. Don't blame the refs. You don't blame your coaches. You certainly don't blame your teammates, but especially the refs. No
Right.
referee has ever cost a team a game. Anybody says otherwise is not being honest. Do they
Yeah.
blow calls? Sure. Have there been blown calls when it's like late in the game, 3-3, and the other team gets a power play and scores? Yeah. But what happened the game all game long before that? If you're looking at the referees after a loss, then you're not looking in the right place, right? And as I said to North before that game, and I said afterwards, listen, you got beat by a better team. They were better than you tonight. No big deal. You weren't going undefeated. Nobody is. Westfield's not going undefeated as good as they are. Neither is Del Barton or anybody else. So they had a better night than you. Suck it
Right.
up, take it, learn from it, and move on. Their problem, though, is stuff like this. Like they're overconfident, and I'm still, as I've told them, they're a good team, still the favorite to win the division. Not as big a favorite as they were, but if they want to be state champs, they got to show me a lot more than they've shown so far, and that's attention to detail. Look, they gave up 6 goals in that loss. They gave up 6 goals in an 8-6 win over Runsford Fairhaven. Again, it was because of the refs in the third period. But it's not their goalie. It's not their defense, right?
Right.
And it's not their forwards. It's all 3 of them, right? Like the D doesn't get enough help from the forwards back checking, and the goalie doesn't get enough help from either, right? So they've got to tighten that stuff up. If they do, they could be a legitimate threat. But right now, Tom's River is 4-0. They're looking like, we talked about them in the preview. They're looking even better than we thought. See, that team right there is the perfect example of a team that will win a lot of games because they have 2 excellent defensemen, the rare public school team with 2 tier 1 defensemen, Jacob Letts and Liam McGovern. They have a very good goalie in high school named David Gowallis. That will win you a lot of games, right? They were very good last year. They went undefeated most of the year, lost the game late in the season. They got upset in the Hampshire Cup playoffs by Mid-North, and then in the state playoffs, I believe, by Marlborough. They are looking like anytime you have a goalie like that and a good defense and a good coach, you're going to win games. That's a formula for winning. Do they have enough scoring to win the division? We'll see, right? I don't know. The opposite of that, Manasquan surprising everybody with a 4-0-1 record. They won again tonight. Strider Carhart is just an absolute freak of an athlete, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've known Strider since he was a squirt, and he I tell you how crazy of an athlete he was. When he was a mite, we were playing in a tournament, and he's at 09 now. He was a mite. We were playing in a tournament in Bridgeport. His brother Chris, his older brother, was playing for our team. A bunch of us got stuck in traffic. We couldn't get there in time for the game. So he suited up and played for our squirt team in a tournament as a mite and scored a goal.
And what's his name?
Strider Carhart. Everybody knows Strider. Like I said, a freak of an athlete, good hockey player, plays for the Rockets. He's going to dominate high school this year. He's got them doing really well. They got Alex Mimot, another highly talented kid who has to sit out 30 days because of the transfer rule. He'll be back soon. Squan, we'll see if they have enough defense or goaltending. They're the opposite of Tom's River. They can score goals on you. If their defense and their goaltending holds up, they could be a threat. Though I still would say North and Tom's River are better than they are. You said you saw CBA the other night. Which game was that? Which CBA game were you at?
CBA was CBA in Marlboro. CBA ended up winning that 5-zip.
Yes,
at Jersey Shore Arena. And then I also went to the Brick and Freehold game.
Right.
That was actually a real good game. Yeah, it was back and forth. It was 2-2 after the first period. Freehold scored. What was it? I think they had 3 goals. Freehold scored 3 goals in the second, and it was 5-4 going into the third. And then Brick took over and ended up winning 7-5. Yeah, like I said, I told you, texted you. I think I texted you from the game. Trace Wozniak scored all 5 goals, and you mentioned that the other kid that you were just talking about played for the New Jersey Rockets.
Their teammates.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean he stood out, on the Freehold team without a doubt. I
Oh,
mean,
he's Trace is a good player. Always has been.
and he's a big
horse too.
and he's a
He's a
big
horse.
kid. Yeah, he's a big kid. 6'2". I looked him up. 6'2", 190. I think they had him at. So, I mean,
Brick is 3-0.
yeah, Brick is 3-0. CBA, I think looks like they're 5-0.
Yeah, that's
if
the what they
just the
call that,
record.
empty calories right there.
Right,
Look,
right,
they're 5-0 against short conference teams. Give them
Right.
credit; they're winning those games.
yeah,
But
yeah,
they used to 10-goaling those teams and blowing them out. The fact that they've been competitive says a lot about how far down CBA has come. They beat Red Bank Catholic tonight, who didn't have their goalie Schaefer, who was hurt, behind Anthony Brereton, who had 7 points. Brereton's a stud, and they're going to need a lot more of them. We'll find out about CBA when they start playing Gordon Conference games. Mobier, not Mobier's in a different conference. Dilbar and St. Augustine, Bosco, St. Joe's and Montville. That's when we'll find out what CBA is made out of.
right.
That's
Right.
when we have to judge them.
Yeah, no, will they play Gloucester? They'll play Gloucester too? Gloucester Catholic?
Yeah, Gloucester's
they-
in that conference, but
Okay.
Gloucester has not been good.
No, right?
They've struggled for a few years now. Ever since I think they had Bunting there as a coach for a while, and they had Guy Gaudreau.
Right.
Matt Gaudreau was taken over. I think we talked about this last week. He would have turned it around had it not been for the tragedy.
Yeah.
And so St. Augustine seems to be getting the players that used to go to Gloucester Catholic. I'm trying to look to see. I think their last winning season, Gloucester Catholic, was in 2020. That's how long it's been.
Wow.
And they were, let's see, last year.
Yeah, I was looking at the
last year. They were 0-11. Holy moly! First year, that was Gaudreau's first year. Anyway, St. Augustine looks like they're going to surprise a few people, as we mentioned in the preview. I didn't know a lot about them, but they're the type of team that can surprise people. They beat Bosco, but then they lost to Bosco. Mo Beard looks formidable. Randolph, who might be a better team than Westfield, might be more talented. I think they might be, but we'll see. Is 1-1-1. They lost to KJS United, Kenelon, with who didn't have their top player, Braden Cisco, who got called up to the USHL, right?
Oh,
they still beat Randolph. Yeah, he's back now. He came back. He's back. He played last night, had a goal. Eddie Brown, and who's a very good hockey player, D1 commit in lacrosse, but he's a good hockey player too. He stepped up with and led them in the 2 games without Cisco. They went 2-0. But Randolph looks formidable. The concern about them was when they lost to KJS was they lost 8-6. I wrote on my forum that what's concerning about Randolph was last year they gave up a lot of goals, and for them to compete for, say, a state championship this year, they have to get those goals allowed down. Well, they did. They played. I think Mo Beard, they tied 1-1 in the next game, so they look like they're cleaning that stuff up. Westfield smoked their 2 opponents. First, West Essex 8-0, and then they the other night they beat Livingston. Both the division game, by the way. Livingston always has a good team, so it'll be interesting to see if they played Westfield tight. But it wasn't. Westfield won 6-1, and Andrew Lisnock is off to a great start for them. Their top line of Lisnock, Smoke, and Reed is dominating like their first line did last year. And as I said to a couple of dads, I know this is blasphemous to say they'd be better than last year's first line with my son, Aiden Wilson, and Lizzie. So I won't say that, but they might be more dominant at least this year. So Westfield's off to. By the way, I'll make a point about Westfield, and then I'll move on. And I've said this over and over again to people, what made Westfield state champions and why I think they're the favorites again this year. Here's a perfect example. They're up 8-0 in the third against West Essex, and West Essex got a power play, maybe 4 minutes left. Westfield blocked 5 shots on that penalty kill. 5. Very few. Some teams will do that all year.
Right.
When they're up 8-0, right? That is why it's that commitment to detail and winning and doing the right things that's going to make them so tough to beat and makes them so formidable. There's a bunch of individual performances we could save for next week, but I wrote about it on my forum. Like Joe Batacchiato, who plays for God, why am I, North Milford, plays for is it Milford? Anyway, he was great last year. He surprised everybody with his performance, and he stamped himself as one of the best players in the state. Well, this year he hasn't missed a beat. He's got 14 points in 2 games. Last year, he had a game where he had 11 assists in a playoff game. That's not an exaggeration. 11 assists. So that's Vaquero's off to a great start. And really, I mean, like I said, we don't have enough time to go into all the players that I mentioned. We'll talk about them next week, and you can check them out on my forum, 111 Hockey on Facebook or 111hockey.com. The blog is down right now as I try to get WordPress to fix something, but you could check out the updates on teams and players and some of the news and notes on my 111 Hockey forum on Facebook. So, we got a couple. Well, so that should be it, right? We're done here, Looch.
Yeah, just about. We got another 1 minute left, and then, well, I guess we could wrap it up. And
real quick, what was your thoughts on CBA when you watched them play? Brick, who were 3-0, by the way. We said they'd be good. We predicted they were 3-0. Go ahead. So what were your thoughts?
Yeah, no, Brick looked really good. I mean, I was impressed with the way they played. They got a good goalie, halfway decent goalie. Made a lot of good saves, and no, I think Brick's got a really good team. Definitely.
Well, as a measure to tell you how good Brick is, they won that game against Freehold 7-5. They beat Lacey 1-0. When you can win 1-0 games and games 7-5, that's a deep, versatile team. And in the 7-5 win, they had 6 different goal scorers. So that's their depth.
Right.
And their goalie's good. They have a good goalie.
Yeah, Wall Township 9. They beat Wall 9-1 the first game.
Yeah, well, everybody's the problem with that is everybody's beating Wall usually 9-0. Or I don't know their coach Costello, but from other Shore Conference coaches have told me that he has said that well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I shouldn't speak it. He knows his team is not going to be like it had been the last couple of years with Mikey Horley graduated, James Burns, and they just don't have the horses to compete. So. That's why they get beat 9-0, 9-1, 10-0. By the way, Dylan Amato's the goalie for Brick. I want to make sure I mention his name because he's a good goalie. One more thing before we go. Tomorrow night is the Mid-North, Mid-South rivalry game. Oh, those games are always great. And going into the season, South wasn't supposed to be a threat to them, but South is 3-0. They're confident. They think they can compete with them. I don't disagree. I still make North the slight favorite, but I wouldn't be shocked if South beats them.
Yeah. Well,
we'll be there tomorrow night. You're going to come, right?
I'm going to try to get out there. Yeah, after work, I'm going to shoot up there and definitely watch that game.
Yep. Yeah. It should be a lot of fun.
Get together for that. Definitely. All right. So, let's wrap it up. Next week, we're going to probably be back on Monday since Christmas Eve is on Wednesday. We'll do another Monday night show, and then we'll go back to our regular scheduled Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. And
I look forward to it.
Yeah, we
check out the forum for high school stuff. All right.
Yeah, 111hockey.com. Check it out, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Looch.
All right, guys. Have a good week, guys.
All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.